Santorini is a scenic volcanic island in the middle of the Aegean Sea, about 250 kilometers southwest of Athens. The island is what is left of a colossal volcanic explosion 3,500 years ago that wiped out a flourishing prehistoric civilization. The original name of Santorini is Thera, and by that name it was settled anew in classical times, and prospered through the ages to be an important center of Aegean shipping and trade. Santorini is a corruption of Santa Irene, or Saint Irene, which is what the Venetians called it in the Middle Ages. The scenic beauty of the volcanic rock and the white cubist houses on the cusp of the volcanic crater have made Santorini into a major tourist destination for the past half-century. The fast ferry takes around 6 hours, while the air trip takes about 45 minutes. The buildings on all the Greek islands tend to blend in with the natural landscape. But on Santorini, this blending is especially effective. You aren't going to find any tall buildings on Santorini, not even the smarter hotels. Instead, all the houses and public buildings seem to be outgrowths of the volcanic rock itself. There are several reasons for this. One is that Santorini lies on a volcano and earthquake zone, and tall buildings wouldn't be very wise, for obvious reasons. Another and more valid reason is that the spectacular natural landscape dominates the scene to such an extent that anything man-made can only pale in comparison. This is why, for example, we see these plain little cylindrical roofs and simple geometrical shapes dominating the cliff-top skyline. They're made to be a part of the rock, rather than something imposed on it. Not so long ago, many people on Santorini lived in so-called cave houses, which were literally hewn out of the lava deposits. This made them safe in an earthquake, warm in winter and cool in summer. A major attraction of Santorini, of course, is that the whole world knows it's one big, active, if dormant, volcano. It looks the part as you approach the island. Massive, layered cliffs of ash and lava that look as if some almighty giant had cut them with a knife. The Volcano Center is a small islet of uniformly black lava called Nea Kameni, slap in the middle of the bay, and visible from all the eastern communities. It started as a bit of rock in classical times, expanding to its present size as recently as 1926. The scientists tell us that billions of cubic meters of boiling magma are gathering up just below. You can take a boat across to Nea Kameni and climb up the craters for a fee of €2. But you're not supposed to take away any pumice or lava. You won't see any steam coming out of the holes, but you can feel the thrill of standing right where an entire civilization was eradicated by the fireball under your feet 3,600 years ago. To the northeast, at the mouth of the Caldera, lies the island of Pnacl. This is a fragment that split off from the main island mass in ancient times, and now contains its own cliff-top village, reachable from a small port. To enjoy these places, you need to hire a boat. Several hundred churches, no one knows quite how many, and several monasteries dot the rugged landscape of Santorini. Many of the churches are quite old and out of the way, built by locals in thanks perhaps for a good fish catch or a healthy crop. You can find them in the unlikeliest places, such as clinging to an impossible rock or nestling inside the odd vineyard. Every church, however large or small, is named after a saint in the Orthodox calendar, and is thus very well taken care of. For example, many have a spotless coat of shimmering blue paint on the cupolas, playing with the deep blue of the sky and sea to form a panorama that has been reproduced endlessly in picture postcards and artists' canvases. The monastery of Prophytis Elias stands on the side of the height of the same name, overlooking the sea to the southeast. It's a hive of activity, from winemaking to repairing shoes. The monks don't mind seeing visitors, and you could get a glass of homemade wine or liqueur. But they tend not to keep regular hours for the public, so it's wise to make sure Prophytis Elias is open before making the climb. The town hall at Vira can advise you about visiting hours or give you a telephone number to call. The population centers on Santorini consist of 7 main communities, the biggest 3 of which are strung out like white pearls for several kilometers along the volcano rim. Vira, the main town and administrative center, which is what everyone sees on the approach from the sea, is where most of the shops, restaurants, banks and public services are, and most of the busier hotels tend to be located there. It's on a slope leading up to the cliff top. Everything is within walking distance, which is good for those who didn't bring their cars with them. Rather more chic is Ir, perched on the northernmost tip of Santorini, a favorite for those who want the local flavor without the traffic. You get much more of the traditional Aegean island flavors here, and the view is simply amazing from any angle. Between Vira and Ir lies Imerovigli, famous for its accommodation that offers the most stunning balcony vistas in the entire Aegean Sea. Down at the bottom of the cliff is Athenaeus, the commercial port where the big ships put in. And there's Akrotiri at the southern end of the island, the site of a museum that preserves the remains of a Bronze Age civilization wiped out by the volcano 3,600 years ago.